Oh, fuck. I slept in. Fuck. I can't. I heard the bell. Fuck, I'm late. Oh, I'm gonna get chewed out by Chadley. Or Kethor. Fuck.
Anybody else having connection issues?
Yeah, I'm pretty stable.
Okay.
This one. No, wait. No. This one. Fuck, I already missed an assembly.
Is there any area in particular where guards should be spawning?
Right now it doesn't matter because they're all in a class, but ordinarily you can appear on the ironclad, which is the ironclad button.
Yeah.
Or honestly, you can just teleport to any of the color-coded buttons because those are portals.
Okay.
So if you appear if you appear at one of those, people will just assume you took the portal from somewhere else. So
Perfect. Yeah,
those are
makes
always
sense.
safe.
Okay.
Stay here.
Stealing. Do not ever steal.
We get into a fight.
Fuck.
And the only reason I say that is because I witnessed my brother behanding a thief. They had no hands anymore. And they were not allowed to have new hands of any sort. What else? It would be really hard for me to explain each and every tribe or clan that we might run into for each and every single etiquette. So, bear with me that I can try to overall explain each one without getting into the details that would take hours and hours on end. So, one gesture is some frost giants will bang their heads on each other, and depending on how they do it, say if it's just straight forehead, just like bam, it's kind of a greeting or saying like I like you in a way. If you see frost giants with horns and you see their horns touching, that's a sign of
Marriage, maybe?
that's a romantical. Chips? What's up?
Well, what if they headbutt you and the horns tips touch?
If you don't have horns, you're fine. I guess ask their intent of why they headbutt you. You can, I'm sure they'll laugh at you and explain it to you, or they'll laugh at you and not say a thing. Sorry.
Fuck no.
It's a subject. Jeez. Some clans really admire tattoos.
Oh.
And they'll ask you the meaning of it if they don't understand. Say, if it's not an ice tongue, in any type of language they understand, they'll ask you about it. And you could be honest. Though, if it's something that is rude to their kind in any way, they might punch you. To get on people's good side, that is a northern person, is to buy them a drink. Some of them really enjoy sparring. They like to fight. They like to see other people's strengths, their weapons, their armor, and so on and so forth.
Strength, armor, and skill, huh?
So, depending on how you can understand their tone, you can either, I hope, you guys can understand whether someone's trying to just kick your ass just to kick your ass, or if they just want to see how you handle yourself in the north, because some of them might see us as not being able to survive up there, essentially. And then if you impress them, it's a good thing to get on their side. Jeez. I think I can... Let's see. Other than that...
Actually, I got a question.
I can move on to the creatures and stuff. What's up, Ryder?
I have a question.
Obviously.
Okay. What's the question?
Alright. Now, you know I'm not the smartest individual, so I'll just cut straight to the point here.
Okay.
You said that a show of friendship means battle and sparring and all of that. Correct? You said these things.
Can you say that one more time?
You said that to get on their good side, we have to sort of spar them, right? Sort of...
Yes.
So what if I just deck one in the face and get the party started?
Like a bar fight?
Then finish it before the guards come.
I like your people.
And so listen.
We're gonna get in trouble so
Unless
fast.
the street knowledge has changed since I've been there. But I think you can understand why I can't get street knowledge personally.
Of course.
What's up, Victor?
Does this rule of strength above all correlate to only frost giants, or all of the citizens of the north?
Mostly all of the citizens of the north. Just the frost giants are more aggressive about it. Alright, I can take questions on, for like, etiquette and places we might run into and the type of people we might run into before I move on to creatures. Does anybody have any questions?
Hi. You talked about like certain tattoos that might be considered offensive. Do you have examples?
Yeah, this is definitely great.
I don't have examples at the top of my head. I suppose if they ask you what the meaning of a tattoo is and you tell them it means I fucking hate frost giants or you guys are
Okay.
idiots or something. Yeah. Stuff like that.
Actually, damn you for not telling me that was a school up there.
Yeah, pretty much that. That's not too hard. I don't think any of you have something like that. What's your question?
Is there any type of food or drink that we should avoid while we're there? Something that would probably be bad for us on the not northern side?
You should be fine. A lot of people, we're used to eating meat up there because it's really hard to grow things up there. So if you could 50-50 impress someone by bringing something they've never seen before, unless it's imported, and obviously it costs a lot. So, for instance, take a fruit or vegetable that's grown here, somewhere warm. You go up there, it's probably inflated by the price, a lot of people can't get it, and so on and so forth. Mead is a popular drink. overall, all types of mead. Here's another thing too, actually. If you hunt up there, don't hunt for game. In most territories, you need to hunt, and you use all of it. Otherwise, it is bad. What's the translation? Like, if you don't use all of it, it's bad omens, essentially. There are some people that are religious up there, or just some old culture teachings from generations. So you might run into that too. It is said up there, by the way, snowflowers. I think I actually gave Nerali a perfume of snowflowers years ago. So, if you come across a snowflower and it's a lot of them, and it's not in a safe area, and I say safe, like gated, there's some host of guards or tamed animals or whatever, probably stay away from it. I don't know if it's true, because I personally have not ran into it, but they say there's a creature that lurks, and as soon as there's snowflowers around and someone tries to tamper with it, they'll get them.
What do they look like? The flowers?
They are a small, pale blue flower, and it's kind of iridescent in a way when you look at it. If I had to describe the smell, it smells like a mix between... I'm really not good with flowers, so forgive me. I guess like an orchid, in a way, and a sweet pea, I think it's what the flower's called. Almost star-shaped, petal-wise. They're rare, not rare, but when you get them, you can definitely sell them to the market, and all that. It's used for spices, cooking, and as well as perfumes, lotions, what have you. Any other questions on society and etiquette and all that stuff? Chips?
Do the giants all wear giant rings?
The fuck?
That's actually a good question. A lot of giants like being the size they are, and a lot of stuff up there are built for said size of people. So if you walk into a tavern and everything's fucking huge, you know exactly where you are. So, like the giant ring I have on here, keep it on my thumb. These are actually, if you don't have money, you can't get these up there. And the only time giants would want to do this is if they're getting into places that are obviously not built for them. Let's see. This one was actually given to me by the Academy. I did not have one previously, so I had to requisition this one. But yeah, you'll see most of them in their max height. They just don't see it as a problem. And yeah. Sometimes there's issues with that, but that's very rare. Another question?
If I may. Pardon, Chips. After you.
Well, I just wanted to see, because I don't actually, I've only ever seen you get big in battle, and I'm not really looking at you. Could I see?
I'm actually very small for a frost giant, because I'm a half-breed, mind you. Sure. Let me see. That's pretty close, give or take. I have seen
small?
that are... I have seen some that were, like, at the top of that post right there.
Pretty tall.
Whoa.
They're very tall.
Oh.
Oh.
Actually, Victor, you're right. Frost trolls can be about to hear to me. Same with orcs. Now, that's just one's from the north. It's said like, oh nice, no I can't, it's smaller. It's kind of true what they say in the north, which is very limited. We actually keep our secrets in the north. We don't like telling others, and so on and so forth.
Oh, that's good.
But one of the rumors is true. A lot of things are just bigger in the north. These are one of the classes I didn't pay attention to. Evolution or something. I wish I paid attention. It was basically because we need to survive up there. A lot of us have changed to adapt in such conditions. There are huge creatures up there that are just as big, if not bigger, than frost giants. In which I will show examples in a smaller form, obviously, here in a bit. Varian, did you, Professor Varian, did you have something?
All the same. As you've warned me, and perhaps even jested, there are a few of us present who are ingredients of local delicacies.
I mean, right.
My question being, out of those of us
Sorry, I
present,
zoned out there for a minute. My
are there
mom
any
called
who
me
should
away.
be concerned of direct attack?
Riddles? There are some people that eat.
So there are those that are known to take pleasure in eating some type of kin, some type of people.
Oh.
It is true that some of them are, they do like eating, for the example, elf ears. There are some clans that are very savage and will cut them off and eat them.
The ears specifically.
I don't. Yeah. And some beastkin as well. Now, I think it'll be obvious if they are salivating, looking at you, you probably can understand that. However, I don't think we'll run into them. If so, you are more than welcome to alert a guard or stay by somebody. But obviously, protect yourself above all else. Everything else can come later and be fixed, remedied, explained, so on and so forth. Just be careful.
Question in that regards then.
Sure, go ahead.
Is this a frowned upon practice then if the guards are involved, or is it culturally acceptable, just not law accepted?
So it's not law accepted to... I'm going to call it cannibalism because it's easier for me to explain it like that. The translations are gone for me. So I can actually show you one of the examples here soon, but if you come across the example I show you, you definitely know they want to eat you. Now, if you call for the guards, okay, so we're going back to Isadel. If you call for the guards serve the king. Sorry, they serve the Anders. So, if you do call for the guards, and I'm sure there are some anti-Anders, anti-monarch or royal people there, they might look at you and be like, okay, he's a kiss ass for the crown, and so on and so forth. So, just be wary of that too. Does that answer your question?
Yes, for the most part. Yes, I'd say sufficient.
If you want to try a disguise, you're more than welcome. Just that might be a little difficult. But that would be later. Go ahead, Chips.
Sorry for all the questions.
No, it's fine.
I'm just a little worried. You say that we might have some issues with them, but we're being called to arms. Are they not going to behave or listen to the rule sets? Or what can we expect? Or is this like something we need to look behind our shoulders and like back alleys? How do they handle themselves?
So, there have been some difficulties, which I will explain later. But I can explain some of it now. A lot of people have resorted to some things they wouldn't have normally done now. And over the past years, there have been difficulties with Mountain Pass, the wall, and stuff that are further up. And because of the difficulties up there, it has gone to the southern side of Isendar, where we're more likely going. And because of that, it has made people do some drastic things. And a lot of people they'll think of ideas to blame others, they'll point fingers, they'll do crazy things, essentially. So I wish I could say to expect a warm welcome, a cold welcome, in a good way, but I can't say it with 100% guarantee that you will definitely have to look over your shoulder. Now, I do believe some of the citizens will recognize if we are going in uniform. Some of them might not, so they might ask questions or give you a dirty look. Now, they should not attack you, especially if you are wearing your uniform. You know, something that definitely shows who you're part of. I know you guys can handle yourself, though. I don't think there's... At least in the city, I don't think we'll run into any issues. If you do, like I said, just call the guards. Or stick with somebody that you see of authority. They will not mess with you. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, kind of. It just sounds like we're gonna have to worry about the enemy in the front and then sometimes the knife in the back.
Unfortunately, yes. It is a possibility. Any more questions on this subject?
Might be best to keep our camps separate.
Okay, if there isn't, I'm gonna move on to things we might run into. That's alright? Alright, let me see which one. Let's do... Actually, since we went over it... Let's do this one. I'm not good with these, so I apologize. So this one, I'm gonna place... What is this called? Jogger, in general, undead. So there are a bunch of ruins up there. Ruins, sorry. There are ruins up there, and... So Draugr are... These are the ones that will definitely try to attack you, eat you, even though they don't have a means to actually eat you and all that. This one, do be careful with. Don't take any of their items. Not only is it bad omens, sorry if I use omens, that's the closest word I could think of. It's just, it's bad. And we don't need to cleanse you. And I'd rather not call upon a certain someone to ask for help. So, So, most fighters are buried in their armor. They're buried with their weapon. It is said in some cultures up there that they are buried with their things so they can be prepared for the next life if anything were to come. And yes, it's kind of also they are there to not only obviously relax at the feast in the afterlife, but anything that were to come. And I will say, what was it? So they are obviously, unless some of you don't understand, necromancy. It's necromancy and all that. They are very hard to put down. So do use blunt weapons. Try to disarm them. Try to distract them so someone else can try to take them down. Now, what's the translation? It's ancient magic too, as well. So obviously ancient runes that we might run into, there's ancient magic. And they are always usually protected by these guys. And I just beg you to not take anything, even if it seems valuable. It probably is, but don't do it. Otherwise, we will not shake these guys off. Are there any questions on this particular guy?
From what I know, not a lot of people have blunt weapons.
Would the best way to, I guess, get them down is to get them, like, off their feet? Kind of like get them to the ground to disarm them or take them out a little bit easier?
You
They are
definitely can,
big.
especially if... Yes, so this one's... this one's a frost giant one, as you can tell by the build. We can probably come across ones that are different undead bodies, but obviously, to where we're going, we probably run into these guys. You can definitely try to disarm by knocking them down, just disorientate them in any way with blunt weapons. Or any magic that can definitely get them to be knocked back and, you know, distracted by that. Now, do be careful. They can cast magic, in a sense. Usually, if it's not obvious, it's cryomancy. It's ice. Any more questions on this guy? Heinrich? Or Victor?
Is it safe to assume they are bloodless undead?
Bloodless. Oh, they're usually bones with skin. There's not much blood left on them. Not with how we deal with our dead, if that makes sense to you. Does that answer your question that you're trying to ask?
Do they share weaknesses such as fire, decapitation?
Yes. Just, it's kind of
Thank you.
hard because can you see his armor and his helmet and all that? It's kind of hard to get to it, but if you can get to it, do the job, obviously go for it. I just recommend disarming them and disorientating them so they don't cast. Any more questions on this guy?
Saying would be a good move.
You said that the projections you were showing us are scaled down. So this would probably be the minimum height. Or will they get bigger, or will this be about how big they will
This is
encounter?
about a mid-range height. I would say expect this height, give or take. Maybe a bit taller. A tad taller.
Understood.
Any more questions? If I don't see you, just speak up. Okay.
You know, I'm not going.
Now,
I think lightning
I
magic
will
will be
move
good.
to... This one is actually based off of the previous subject I brought up, which is These fuckers will eat you. And they probably won't care what the fuck you are, they will want to try it. Okay? Hey, big man. See you soon. These are raiders. Yes. There's different names for them, but for easier translation for me, I'm just calling them raiders. Now, there are a ton of clans that are just malicious. And if you can't tell by the size and the shape, they are usually human. They will raid, pillage. Think of all the bad shit you ever heard of about the North before? It's usually these fuckers. It's a baby trucker. They have been a nuisance since the beginning of time. But I think every place has always had something of their own, like this guy. These are actually the ones that will definitely might want a taste of you in terms of they will cut off your ear, your feet, your whole body. They'll want it. They'll want to eat it. Because if it's not for the sake of palate for cannibalism, some believe
Yeah,
that
the armor is a bad match for them.
Forgive me, there's some things I'm not usually allowed to talk about, so...
Oh, Lax Max, hello.
Spilling the beans on it now is... kind of believed that if you were to eat a said thing, you gain said thing's powers.
Hi, Jamie. Thank you.
These
for
guys want
hydration.
all the power to get all the stuff they ever want, ever. So, while we're sailing there or whatever, you might come across some ships that are wrecked. It's usually their fault. If it's not clear that you run into someone, say they're not armored like
Rocker
this,
and the Raider, given their armor.
you can probably try to keep an eye for clan sigils, tattoos, symbols. I will try to point them out. I don't know every single one, obviously, and most of the time they are... 70% of the time they're smart and they cover it up. Are there any questions on this guy? This is a raider. Professor?
You said essentially that they are barbaric, but can they be reasoned with in any shape or form? As you said, they have more infiltration units, it sounds like, of the sort. So is it possible, or is it more their mindless killing type of thing?
Holy shit.
You might run into some smarter ones, which are usually the ones they would send in. Undercover, but more than it's going to be 98% of the time they are savages. You will hate saying that word. They are barbaric. They are very much. They say what's on their mind. And it's usually that they're hungry, they want your stuff, and they'll probably kill you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any questions on this guy? Any more questions on the raider?
We got one from Lux.
Oh, Lux, go ahead.
You said the majority of them are human. Should we expect anything, I guess, superhuman is the best way I can word it?
When you mean superhuman, do you mean like just plain human, just...
I'm more meaning like more on our scale and not the standard bandit scale.
Yes, so... Let me try to explain it this way then. So yes, they would enhance themselves with things they
In the
have stolen,
shadows. This is
and they
Ascension
will use
Academy
on
RPG.
themselves to be better. So if they say you come across someone carrying a scroll or some type of magical weapon, item, so on and so forth, they will use it to essentially make them superhuman. So there is a possibility. And if they're not human, superhuman, as you put it, and yes, they would probably be frost giants or halfkin, have frost, but they are usually mainly human. These are actually another type of people that will go into ruins and not give a shit about their traditions they have grown up with and take whatever's in there, because as some of the main tradition, you are buried with stuff, so you are ready for whatever's to come in the afterlife. So it's said. We might run into these guys trying to find some goodies to obviously make their lives better. So if we are able to, we should probably stop them. And then we might run into them fighting each other. When I say each other, I mean raiders and joggers. So that'd be a sight. Go ahead.
To that end, should we leave their gear alone as well?
Their gear is more likely stolen. But I'll reiterate that. So for the example I put here, that is gear that they've made. Now, if you see like a weapon, like say, that is obvious that is not part of the North, what have you, because they can attack caravans and trade routes to take trade routes, trade ships, caravans, so on and so forth. So, like for example, you see this guy walking, and he has an elven dagger. Probably not his. If you want to take the initiative to bring it to said authorities, find the trade company you think you might know, go ahead.
Oh God.
People would be very happy if you were to return it. That's what I'm saying. If, say, you come across an item and it does seem northern, but obviously doesn't belong to them, and maybe it looks like a family heirloom of so on and so forth, you could also return it to said authorities or city, and someone can probably try to help you find who it may belong to as well. Otherwise, say if we are at the ruins and you see they're grabbing the items, put it in their sack, we'll want to put it back. Otherwise, the jogger will probably not stop appearing. Does that answer your question?
Yes, but it also brought up one more.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Ask as many as you want.
In the event we're in ruins or we run into Draugr, is it best to just leave their things alone? Or can we pick it up and bring it back to them, should they have been disarmed or anything in the encounter?
I would personally leave them for the Draugr to come and pick up and take back if we are to leave them alone. However, if I have been told, I have been told by someone that if a Draugr knows your intent to return their said things, there's a chance they might leave you alone. Go ahead. That is a slim chance, and I would need to double check on that information.
Augusta.
But yeah. Oh, Chips?
This isn't really a question, but you know, this class is to prepare us for the North, right? And like what's to come. And now I know I can't tell you guys what to do, but we all know why we're going there and what we're fighting, right? I would think it would be wise if we were cautionary in taking artifacts from the enemy at this point, especially when we know what we're fighting. Just my personal opinion, though.
I completely agree, which I can go over now. So there is for the said thing we're dealing with, there is a chance that people, creatures, items of all kinds might be tampered with the said reason we're going up there. I hope you can understand what I'm relaying. So more than 90% of the time, try not to mess with it. If you come across that item and you are unsure, you're more than welcome to try to have somebody look at it. A magic sense, a professor that might know. But try not to touch it. Because said things work off of contact. Does that cover what you're trying to relay? Any more questions on raiders specifically?
These pillagers are naturally evil, correct?
If you want to put something like that on them, yes, evil.
Prime targets for you know what, then.
I know. So... No, he's right. Just to be on the safer side, probably try to wear some type of protection, whether it be an outfit, armor, or some type of magical means as much as possible, okay? I don't know everything, obviously. I'm only going to tell what I know. And Hells, when we go up there, maybe we can find out more secrets. Maybe I'll be allowed to say some of them. Are there any more questions on only raiders, please? Any more? Okay. Was that raising your hand, or was that just... Okay. Gotcha.
Very clear.
Alright. Alright. This one's a mouthful, but these are essentially spirits. Now, there's a couple names. I'm gonna try to translate it as best I can, but Hologoraths, Valravens. See you, fucker. These ones.
Oh. That's one ugly bastard.
So these are spirits that are... What's the word I'm looking for? They're like, in a sense, trapped. They're trapped in ice, they can be trapped in effigies, items, so on and so forth. And they come out looking like this. They will kill anything that is living. It's said in our culture, it's their curse to bear, to kill anything that is living. these ones will actually have to watch out for the most, for said thing that we will probably come across. They are drawn to those with bad intent. So I'll use the word evil in this sense, since you guys can understand that better. If you have malintent, I say you, anything and anyone, and as it states in writings that they get powerful when said things are around them. They get more powerful if there is malintent, if there's said evil, aiding evil. It is just how those spirits work. I'm not too knowledgeable on these, obviously, but I can try to answer the questions best I can. I can take any questions for these. If I can't answer, I do apologize. If I can't answer, I will try to get the answer to you right away. Lennon.
Can you further clarify what you mean by malintent or evil? What is it exactly they're sensing or looking for?
See, my auntie would probably explain this better. The want for a darker power.
Oh no.
And the darkest of things in this world. The malintent to harm people. The malintent to make things miserable. To kill. And so on and so forth. I believe that is what they are drawn to specifically. And anything similar. That is, I believe, the closest I can to translate to common. And this stuff I don't personally deal with. Like I said, how do I... Cirrus, those who deal with spiritual things and the remedies of and so on and so forth come across these a lot.
Huh. Okay, huh?
Reason.
Because these are spirits, if we come across them, does that mean that they are intangible to physical means of harm? Or are they with bodies?
They are with a type of body. So it's either ice, a husk of sorts, or like this one did before he moved around, an effigy. Now, go ahead.
Will disrupting these effigies disrupt the spirit from being able to manifest?
If I remember my auntie telling me, yes. Now, magic works better on them once you've destroyed said thing. Ugh. I need more questions on this thing.
Will they recognize other undead as a threat? For instance, could Chips and I...
Absolutely. Lux?
Very well.
Should be worried. We be worried about any special abilities or anything it can do? Or is it just raw strength?
Obviously, you will deal with the strength that it embodies. Ice, husk, an effigy, so on and so forth. That would be the strength side of things, as its embodiment. For magic specifically that it can cast, it would still be ice magic. Chips.
This is just a general question/comment. Alright. The general we know is in the north. And there's all these creatures there. And we know the general's been gathering forces. How well do you think he would be able to lead these troops, or is he even leading these troops? Are these just going to be there? I guess I'm trying to figure out, are these going to be organized against us, or is it just going to be a chaotic mess? I guess this is more speculation. I'm curious as to your northern experience, what you would think.
So for that one, so as I previously for any malice and all that, it will be drawn to it. The bigger and better the malice, the more appealing it is to them. So for these guys, for example, as for said general, probably.
What the fuck is Toby doing on that?
It is highly probable. It is not only probable for them, but probable for most set things that we will run up there. But these ones are very high up there in that regard. That is their favorite food, their pastime, their interest. It's their whole livelihood. That's what they're cursed about. Yes.
Is there a recorded distance of how far away they can be found from their source, their ice or their effigy, in case you either have to escape them or if you run into them, you have a certain area to find their effigy to destroy it?
So these can sense you a lot farther than most. Yeesh. From the last time I read these reports about them, as soon as... So I'm going to work off of some of those that you have... Some of you might have a magic sense or a sense of some sort about spirits, darker things, or just overall general sense. If you can sense them, they more than likely might sense you. And it's enhanced if they are around certain individuals, like undead. I can't give you a number because most of those who deal with these have a... Like I said, I'm sorry, I'm mostly translating, but I'm a magic user, I'm a mage. There's usually always a mage with them to help sense these types of things. As for seeing them, I suppose if you can see the effigy or something, you definitely know they're probably close and they know that you're around. Unless you, say, maybe play it smart and distract them with something that could be appealing to them, but even then that's really hard. I know we have some people actually in here, can in our ranks that could probably help us with this. If not, we can get a Cirrus. Does that help any?
Yes. I think I got the picture now. Yes.
Okay. If it helps any at all as well, I can try to write up summary notes for you all to read as well, if you haven't been note-taking already. Anything more on this thing? I'd like to not look at it anymore and move on to the last one. Well, this next one's my favorite. I used to raise them when I was younger. And these ones are creatures. The woolly rhino.
Oh.
At least I will end on a better.
This is actually quite cute.
Okay.
Hmm.
So
Ryder, look at you.
these are a very popular, common plant. What's the word? Plant eater? Herbivore. So you will see these everywhere. They are your favorite traveling companion. They are the most common one. They are dangerous. They can be, especially if they're provoked. Or, no, it's a little early. It should not be mating season. So, but if you see a baby, don't approach the baby unless the mom is around. If you are alone with the baby, the mom will think you have ill intent. So try not to do that. Now, when we travel up there, these are our best bets to get anywhere. No, not the babies. The woolly rhinos in general. They would need to be from young adult to an older adult to be able to ride them, because obviously we cannot ride on the backs of the babies. It's usually they won't do it. They rather know that their young is safe and unharmed and not dealing with stress of anything. And the elders are usually left at home. I say home. Now, they also like snowflowers. They love eating that. That is like a drug to them.
Oh no.
And what else? So, do you see how their eyes are? Their eyesight is not the best. So, if you do have to deal with them, say you are in the outside, you obviously, this isn't an imprinted, saddled woolly rhino. It is straight wild.
Sorry I'm late, sir.
It will be like, why are you on my territory? If there are any aggressive ones. It makes me miss mine. Now, you can definitely go from behind to the side. Like I said, just use that terrible eyesight they have to your advantage. And if they charge, go to a place where there is like a rock face, ice or something. Have them run into it, knocks them out, stuns them, or whatever, if you have to. Be quick. You might come across them in many towns, cities, clans, etc. If it's not woolly rhinos, it is
So
huge woolly horses. I say woolly horses. They're huge horses. There are also woolly mammoths, but the woolly mammoths are actually usually over the they're over the mountain paths. that is where they're mainly at. So, for example, like Liang's territory up there. They just have more space for such a creature. Never hurt. If you need to deal with them, say if it is an angry person's pet, you say pet companion, and their rider is not around, try to just get away from it or stun them, put them asleep if you have to, distract them with a snowflower or some type of snack. And they'll be like, okay, I got you. This person just fed me, this person just gave me a treat, should be fine. If they're tamed by a rider that is, not a terrible person, I guess. Are there any questions specifically on the Woolly Rhino? That is all the scrolls I have, so that is the 4 examples of illusions I have at ready. Dars.
What would you say is his favorite food if we's trying to, calm him down and make him more friendly?
So, forgive me, I use this example, but it is the best one I could think of for an easier common translation. Snowflowers. So if they're the, oh, my leg. They're the pale blue iridescent looking flower that you see in the north. It smells, what did I say, like sweet pea and...
Orchid.
Orchid, I believe.
Orchid, yeah. I miss my baby. That is their favorite thing, and in comparison on how it affects them, it is like giving a cat catnip. They just love it. Is that safe one?
Oh, like a cat with catnip. Generally speaking, don't they?
Oh, that's quick when I press that button.
In large amounts, it's like a drug to them. So they'll either be, like I said, I don't know about cats or catnip, but it's an example that was told to me. I guess I could just try to... Let me try to translate with the animal tamer that talked to me. So, when you give large amounts of snowflowers to animals like this that love them, it is like a drug. They'll be like, happy and want to eat more and more and more. And the more you give them, the more they're like seeing sounds and colors are vibrant and all that. They get high. And they'll just become relaxed and they'll chill out.
Somewhat like some sort of weed or something?
So, I probably use the worst example, but also, I'm allergic to cats, so I don't know anything about cats. Speaking of cats, hunters who don't hunt them are usually saber-tooths and huge ice wolves. They love eating them. And their horns are valuable for alchemical means, trophy means property, so on and so forth. And their pelt is also valuable. And they have really good memories. They're not the brightest, but their memories are pretty good. Like mine went blind in one eye, but anytime I came up, they instantly remembered how I smelled. Any questions on the woolly rhino?
Question over here.
Sure.
For domesticated or tamed, imprinted, however the translation goes, is there any sort of general place or branding marking we should be on the lookout for that would indicate as such that they belong to someone?
Probably on their ass.
Some do put a brand on their backside,
Yep, that's what I thought.
their horn, tag on the ear, or some type of an adornment or saddle. That is usually the common ways to know if it is somebody's companion. And if they are not a bred woolly rhino in captivity, if it is a wild one that is being tamed, they usually do not adorn or brand them until they have fully gone through their teachings and so on and so forth, if that is clear to you. Most who are the tamers try to avoid branding them. It does hurt them. And they avoid branding the horn, but they do it to try to make sure nobody tries to take their horn away from them. So, like raiders and such. Those who really love their pet, their companion, they would adorn them or put a saddle on them and leave it on their mark, or some type of tag. Usually they do the ear one. That's the less painful for them. But it is to keep them safe. They are very well loved up there. Any more questions on this? And please don't ask if you can have one. There's no way we can take it home.
Thank God. I'd rather not clean up his shit.
Any questions? Okay. That was the illusion of the parent of my woolly rhino. Tully, that was his mom. But unfortunately we had a raid in Isidel, and the Pale Orcs killed most of the pen that I was helping raising, so... Matux. So, this one I don't have an example of. No, I think I couldn't make time. So Matux, they are a small, very fluffy type of animal. Well, I say animal, creature. They're very smart. They're very smart when it comes to hunting. Definitely be careful of these. Now, you might think they are actually a creature. I mean creature as an animal, but they're actually, they have some type of, they do actually have some intelligence to them. I know several scholars and others tried to teach them Ice Tongue or some type of common. It's very hard for them to try to speak it. You might be able to understand and see why, but they do have their own type of language. Sometimes you can come across some that can understand you, whether you try to speak slowly in common, Ice Tongue, or some try to do gestures and all that. Now, Matux, they like forested areas, like woodlands and all that. That's their favorite place. They like to essentially move around. If they have to hide, they hide behind the trees, ice, etc. So, they used to have their own territories, except they were forced out of it. I think towards northeastern, I believe. It's because of It's because of goblins. The goblins took. Goblins are very territorial, and they took their spot. So if you see a Matube and you see a goblin in the same area, it's probably not going to end well. There's not a lot of communities left because of this fact. It would be very fascinating if we ran into them, I'll say that. Sort of a rare sight. This one I don't know if I can answer any questions on. I don't remember much about them from my teachings. But I can take any questions, but I would like to wrap up with one said thing before I end the class. Are there any questions on Matubes? I can't answer it, I'm just going to tell you I don't know.
Question.
What's up?
You said small creatures, you said fluffy. About, like, are we talking like most are knee height, waist, calf?
Maybe up here. Maybe the tallest? If at all. But usually like that.
Okay.
To me anyway. I know I'm pretty tall.
Show a bit bigger.
I would like to move on to the last part. Actually, I'll skim over a few things. So, behemoths. Huge, alright? Fucking huge. There's no way I can try to give an example of that. Maybe as big as this room. They can fly. I say behemoth. So, for example, flyers. What's the translation? Wyverns? You could tell by their wings and all that. Anyway, keep eyes to the skies as well as the ground, essentially. Other behemoths like dire bears, saber-tooths, the dire ice wolves, they're just huge. Anything you come up across against that you saw the biggest ever in your life, they're bigger up there.
The fuck are y'all
The
doing?
evolution, I suppose. It's, they have to survive up there.
Nothing.
Trolls.
That was not fucking nothing.
There are ice trolls, there are mountain trolls.
It's fine.
They don't like fire. So, if you ever are dealing with a son of a bitch who's giving you trouble of their kind, they don't like fire. It actually slows down and nearly stops their healing abilities. Okay? So keep that in mind. And, I'm gonna go over one thing, and I can write this up for you all too. The conditions up there are rough. It is cold, and it can be below freezing and way below freezing, so dress up. If you need a heat stone, if you need some anti-frost, whatever, do it. Now, when we get to Isidel, there could be a chance we can ask for more supplies, but we need to try to supply on ourselves. There are some areas where if you hear rumbling, that means an avalanche is coming, or cracks in the surface are forming underneath your feet. It is best to get to cover, sometimes high grounds, depending on the area you are in. Because you do not want to be anywhere near things that are falling. You do not fall through the cracks. You do not want to be buried under the snow. If you are buried under the snow, most try to do some type of magical means of a flare. And you want to try to do something that is not too loud, obviously, Like I said, there are some dangerous areas if you're too loud or if a force is too great, there could be a chance that these are set off. As well as, you know, creatures and people that can also find where you are because of it. If you are ever cold, if you are ever trapped under snow, I say trapped under snow. If you are trapped in the middle of nowhere and there's snow everywhere, dig down. Or find a place where the wind that is blowing is covering you. You want to find that area. You make a little cove, you dig down, and you try to stay warm by any means. You do not want to be walking at night below freezing. Most don't survive there, especially if they're not built for it. As well as equipment, your armor, your equipment, your weapons, so on and so forth. Do make sure that you are checking to see if it can withstand freezing and below freezing temperatures. I've seen some people's weapons shatter as soon as they bought it from an auction because they were not meant to be up there. Now, aside from survival, that should be it. There is one thing I will mention that I saw in a report that came in recently that I wish to discuss at a later date with people. There was a rumor, and it was not confirmed fully, but they thought it was important enough to bring up, which is fair, considering what we might be dealing with. There have been... right. Demonic sightings.
Of course, it's Arcane's